It's football season, and Rainy Richlands is here to crush the competition. Our unbeatable lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs will leave you feeling like a champion every time you hit the road. Whether you're driving through rugged terrain or cruising down the city streets, Rainy Richlands has the perfect ride to tackle any challenge. Rainy Richlands is the game changer you need to take your driving experience to the next level. It's your deal, your way. Visit one of our dealerships today or shop online at RainyRichlands.com.
Here we are with our Bellacino's Player of the Week, Peyton Hurley. The Hurley Rebels. Peyton had 14 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 solo tackles, and 1 assist in a must-win situation for the Rebels against Van, West Virginia last week, 39-14. He's our Bellacino's Player of the Week. Talk to us a little bit about the game.
We came out, our line blocked good. We followed the game plan that our coaches gave out, and we brought in the win.
All right. Got a tough opponent coming up this week in Riverview, and you both have played East Side. It's going to be a tough game. Got any thoughts about that?
We're going to try to take care of the quarterback, and if we shut him down, we think we got the win.
All right, pretty good approach. Well, once again, we'd like to congratulate our Bellacino's Player of the Week, Mr. Peyton Hurley from the Hurley Rebels. Congratulations. Instant classic in Duffield, and 5 unbeaten teams remain in Southwest Virginia. You're watching After the Whistle, episode 6.2. Welcome to the show. My name is Brian Moore, and over here is my sidekick,
Tom Krieger.
And inconspicuously absent today is Beefy, who had some dental work done, and I guess as much eating as he does, it's to be expected.
And he also fell off a ladder.
Well, all that combined, and I guess he just he wasn't able to be with us today. So we wish him the best of luck and hope he gets to feeling better. But here we are live at Bellacino's. We're going to do a quick recap of this past week's games. But before we do that, there are 5 teams remaining in Southwest Virginia that are undefeated. Honaker is 3-0, Patrick Henry 3-0, Graham 3-0, Ridgeview 3-0, and Twin Springs is sitting at 2-0. That's one D team and two D teams that still have unbeaten records. All right, so let's take a look at the games this past week. We're going to run through these pretty quick, talk about a couple of them. Grayson County 24, Rural Retreat 14. Grayson goes to 3-0. Rural Retreat is now 1-2. This was the game that was delayed and played later on as a result of lightning. Northwood falls to East Montgomery 22-16. East Montgomery gets his first win versus a Hogo school ever, and Northwood drops to 0-3 with the loss. Chilhowie traveled to Narrows, or NARS if you will, and NARS with the win 34-15. Chilhowie was game pretty much of the evening, but NARS just had a little bit too much.
Too many athletes.
Yeah, down the stretch. But Chilhowie falls to 2-1, but still an impressive season so far for the Warriors. Here's a game that I ain't gonna say it was a surprise. The final score probably was 60. Patrick Henry 60, J.I. Burton 7. PH had 380 yards. Good speed, continues to run wild on his opponents. All right, here's one we want to talk about just for a second. Holston 13, John Battle 12. Holston with an extra point in overtime. That was the difference in the game. Battle with that first big win of the season against Abingdon, then dropping these 2 heartbreakers like this to Virginia High, and now to Holston's got to be a major, setback for that bunch right
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah, here they are. These guys haven't won a lot of ball games the last 2 or 3 years.
And now they're in ball games.
Yeah, they're in games every night. They just got to learn how to win them. But a tough game, big win for Holston. Marion second win of the season. They've already doubled last year's win total. Marion 40, Lebanon 20. Lebanon falls to 0-3.
That's kind of surprising there. I mean, you had Lebanon threw for 400 yards against Honaker, and then
Marion.
come into Marion. I mean, not saying, I mean, Honaker, everybody's got them up on a pedestal right now as one of the best teams around, and
I would have thought Lebanon would have passed
a little more than
a little bit more, had more success passing the ball.
But another good game plan by Coach Ginn.
Tazewell 39, Richlands 36. This is a game that was postponed. It was stopped due to lightning, and the game was finished on Monday. Richlands had the lead in that game. Came back out on Monday, scored first, was up 36 to 19, and then I guess you want to call it Carter Creasy went crazy on him. Carter Creasy was 20 of 32, 304 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Big R falls to 0-3, and that's unusual territory for Richlands, Coach.
Yeah, they got to get something rolling. I mean, I know that they've been a big turnaround in athletes and losing people, but it's they're in a territory where they're not used to being.
Yeah, well, at 39-36, Tazewell goes into the fourth quarter trailing and then scored 2 touchdowns and wins that game. A big win there, backyard brawl. Tazewell takes it over Richlands. Another one, Coach Christ made his return to Virginia High. Radford 43, Virginia High 3. Bearcats had 37 yards total offense. I mean, this was just a shellacking by Radford, which is on a really good roll right now. Coach Chris has won 21 of the last 26 games there with Radford. And it was a little bit of a homecoming for him, and I'm sure he was glad to get the win. Abingdon with the shocker. Abingdon 17, Gate City 14. Luke Honaker.
I did get to watch that game, and Abingdon's running back had a great game. And my cousin's son, Sully, had a real great game defensively and caught a couple passes that extended drives to kind of seal the win. I mean, but watching it, it's just Abingdon dominated.
It's hard to believe after that first opening season loss to John Battle, everybody thought Abingdon was done. I didn't see this coming. I don't think any of us picked them to win. Luke Honaker had 118 yards rushing, 71 yards passing, and the big difference in the game at the end was Tobias Reed. He kicked a field goal for the win, and Abingdon in the win column there. And I don't think too many people saw this happen in Mountain 7. Ridgeview 44, Wise 7. 2 teams going in 2 totally different directions. Oakwin had 229 yards passing and ran for a touchdown as well in the win for the Wolfpack. This game here actually was a very tight game, and Union doesn't have any reason to hold their head. Science Hill 27, Union 6. Union was in this game for pretty much 3.5 quarters, and they just got wore down by the sheer numbers that Science Hill had. But here's the note that came out of this game that got me was Union had 133 yards passing. I never thought I'd see a stat where they had more than 5. And they had more yards passing than they did rushing.
I thought going into the game they should have won.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I picked them to win, but I didn't realize that Science Hill just had the sheer numbers that they did. So moving on, Castlewood falls to Thomas Walker 36-14. Landon Lowe has another big game for Tom Walker in the win there. Eastside travels to West Virginia and plays Riverview and comes out of there with a 14-6 win.
That's tough,
That's
right
big.
there.
And Eastside team struggled all last year. They're having a good year right now. They upset over Hurley and playing the way they are. So congratulations on them.
Coach Rhodes got them rolling.
Game of the week, hands down, instant classic in Duffield. Honaker 40, Ryco 32. Peyton Music set a school record for Honaker, 6 touchdown passes. This game was a game right up until the end, and every time Honaker looked like he was going to pull away, Rycove would respond and answer.
But the old beef stick wasn't off on this from far, was it?
No, Beef.
We thought it'd be 2 or 3 touchdowns.
I did too. I think if you want to look at, go look at Southwest Virginia's sports book, they're going to have it on there. 25 point, I think it was favorites there
for Honaker.
For Honaker. And this comes a little bit of a shocker, and I tell you, if they were able to, Rycove was able to put on this kind of performance early, this could very well be a rematch in the Region D championship game, and boy, it's going to be good, and if it is. All right.
Well, I was over at Rycove. We were open this week, and I took the girls over to Rycove for a volleyball game, and I talked to Coach Collier and Coach Salyers, and I just asked them. I said, guys, they've already crowned them. I said they're got the best athletes in the area. I said they're playing good, and he said, yeah, he said they're going to be tough. He said we just going to have to control the ball. They're talking about their linemen, and I see what they're talking about now. I think their linemen played real well. Just Honaker, too many athletes, but only losing by 8, and they play again, anything can happen.
Well, you look at this, in the playoffs, you won't be able to run football. And if you can win that war up front, this could be a precursor of what's to come, except it may be flipped.
But again, and Honaker wins, playing in close games and pulling them out, that's going to help them down the road too.
That's true. Hurley travels to Van, West Virginia, gets a 39-14 win. Peyton Hurley, Landon Bailey both had 2 touchdowns for the Rebels in the victory. Hurley was in a must-win situation after dropping those first 2 games to Sherman and Eastside, but now they're back in the win column. UVA Wise and Thomas More, the first ever game, Division II game for Thomas More, and they shellacked UVA Wise. Held UVA Wise to only 96 yards of offense. Final score there, 37-0. Another big game, Graham and George Wythe. Graham all over him, 37. George Wythe, nothing. Dalton Roberts had 228 yards and 3 touchdowns for the G-men in the win. Our last 2 games we picked was Emory and Henry 37, Bluefield State 14. The Wasps continue to roll, and then Purdue was somewhat of an upset, 24-17 over Virginia Tech.
I don't think it's upset when it keeps happening year after year.
It's early in the season. You can expect it to happen. Tech's going to lose to somebody. At least this time it wasn't a Division II school.
That's right.
All right, so that takes care of our weekly recap. And most of you probably noticed we have a new sponsor here at After the Whistle. Ramey Chevrolet, located in Richlands, Virginia, is our new show sponsor. And check out our commercials that we be showing here at the middle of the roll and at the beginning and at the end. And stop by and see the folks at Ramey Chevrolet. They care a lot about high school football in the area. They feed a lot of area teams.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And I know the coaches and players greatly appreciate it. So give them a shot and a call. Let them know that you've seen and heard about them here on the show. All right, real quick, we're going to, before we jump
It's football season, and Rainy Richlands is here to crunch the competition. Our unbeatable lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs will leave you feeling like a champion every time you hit the road. Whether you're driving through rugged terrain or cruising down the city streets, Rainy Richlands has the perfect ride to tackle any challenge. Rainy Richlands is the game changer you need to take your driving experience to the next level. It's your deal, your way. Visit one of our dealerships today or shop online at RainyRichlands.com.
Before we jump into our top 5, we're going to bring this up. Big hot topic here in the world of football right now is, I think it was the 3rd play of the game, Aaron Rodgers.
3rd play of their offense. His game. 3rd play for the Jets.
And he has an Achilles injury.
Yeah, he shattered his Achilles.
Achilles, all right.
His Achilles ruptured.
Well, my question for you is this the end of Aaron Rodgers' pro football career as a player?
You would think so, but with modern science and technology, and they don't get to hit the quarterback, he could play next year. And I think he would want to. He wouldn't want to go out like this. So, yes, he will play again.
I'm thinking otherwise. I'm thinking that he'll want to and just won't be able to.
Well, that's the thing.
I agree with you. I think he'll want to play.
But if he can't, he can't.
It's going to be interesting to see how it works out. And I imagine as soon as they can get everything analyzed there, that the rehab process will begin. I don't question that his desire to play will still be there, but I'm a little bit skeptical as to whether or not he will be able to. All right, we're going to take a look at our top 5 this week in 1A and 2A, and we're introducing a new feature here on the show. We're going to have a Southwest Virginia top 5. We're going to pick the top 5 teams in Southwest Virginia regardless of their classification. But I'll start things out with 1A, and my 1A top 5, sliding in at number 5, I've got the East Side Trojans. Number 4, I have the Twin Springs Titans. Number 3, I have the Rye Cove War Eagles. Number 2, I have the Patrick Henry Rebels. And number 1, I have the Honaker Tigers. What about you, Coach?
Well, I've got it right now. I've got similar to what you have, but I got Twin Springs at number 5. I've got East Side at number 4. Just think they're playing good ball right now, not taking nothing away from Twin Springs. But I'm sure they play in the season, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and then I've got Rye Cove at number 3. I'm still riding Patrick Henry at number 2. And then I got the Honaker Tigers at number 1. And Rye Cove and Patrick Henry both have great linemen. So if they have to play down the road, that'd be a good game. But I'm giving the nod to Patrick Henry as of right now to be at that number 2 spot.
All right. All right, moving on to 2A. I've got Gate City, despite the loss this week. I've still got them at number 5. Number 4, I have the Ridgeview Wolfpack. Number 3, Tazewell Bulldogs. I probably would have moved them had they not come back and got the win against Richlands. Number 2, I have the Union Bears. And number 1, I have the Graham G-Men. What about you, Coach?
At number 5, I'm still sticking with this with John Battle at number 5. I mean, they're going to turn it around. We've got faith in them. Number 4, I've got Gate City. Abington's AAA team. I mean, I guess they're supposed to do that and
That's true.
Play good. I mean, they got 1,000 kids, but still Gate City still right there at it. At number 4, at number 3, I've got the Tazewell Bull Puppies, which didn't I call?
Yeah, you did.
Didn't I say that Tazewell would win the ball game after it got canceled?
After it got canceled, we got the text. I got the message to prove it. He said Tazewell will come back and win this.
Just had a feeling on that. And number 2, I got the Ridgeview Wolfpack. And at number 1, the team that everybody hates in Southwest Virginia, the Graham G-Men. We're Graham G-Men fans here.
Okay. Inconspicuously absent there, the Union Bears.
Yeah, they just not showed me enough. They went over at Science Hill and got throttled. They just got to show me a little more to pop in there, but I just don't think so right now.
All right, that takes care of our personal 1A and 2A. Let's take a look at the After the Whistle Southwest Virginia top 5. Coming in at number 5, we've got the Rye Cove War Eagles. This includes, remember, all 1A and 2A schools. Number 4, we've got the Ridgeview Wolfpack. Number 3, the Honaker Tigers. Number 2, the Union Bears, which is under protest right now by a particular member of our group here. And then number 1, the Graham G-Men. That rounds out our Southwest Virginia After the Whistle top 5. All right, so with that being said, it's time for our Stump the Crig section. Each week at this time, we attempt to stump the Crig. I have an envelope here that was recently it's hermetically sealed. It was recently delivered to us. It was in a bank vault for the past week at True Point Bank in Grundy. Delivered here by an armored truck and an armed security guard. Just dropped it off a few minutes ago. And the way this segment of the program works, we attempt to stump the Crig. He is so good that he's going to tell us the answer to the question that is inside this envelope.
And I already know him. I've been thinking about it all day. Yeah, I already knew it. The first one is Puss and Toots. Not Puss and Boots. Puss and Toots.
Puss and Toots. All right. And you have not seen the question.
I have not.
All right. Well, here we go. Puss and Toots. Never heard that one before. Puss and Toots. And the question is, what do you call a cat that likes to eat beans? Puss and Toots. Yeah, I think that works.
That's a good one.
That works. That's
Yeah.
a good one right there. All right. 1 for 1. I have the second question here. Do you know the answer to this one?
No idea.
So we have stumped the Crig, folks. We have officially stumped him. He has no idea what the answer is.
No idea. I have no idea.
Did you hear this, folks?
No idea.
He has no idea. No idea?
No idea.
All right, so we have finally stumped the Crig. What about that? All right, let's take a look at the question here. What do you call a deer with no eyes?
No idea.
Now, so much for the excitement. We have once again failed to stump the Crig, but no idea. I've waited for 6 years to hear that, and then that's the answer to the question. All right, so we have failed once again to stump the Crig. Folks, we'll try again next week. If you have a question, an answer that you would like to see on the show, just apply and put it in the comments there. All right, before we move on here to our Pigskin Prognostications, most of you probably noticed the address up here above my head. If you are interested in an After the Whistle t-shirt, they're only $10. Just put a check, our money order in an envelope, mail it to the address above. Make sure you put in the memo section of the check what size you want. Presently we have small, medium, large, extra large, and a few 2X's remaining. Here's what you get. You get this t-shirt right here, and of course it's got some information about Southwest Virginia football on the back. So if you want one of those, be sure to drop us a check in the mail. All right. All right, now it's time for Pigskin Prognostications, and we've got some good games this week to pick from as well. We'll pull them up here real quick. We'll go through this, and then we'll say a few things about a couple of them here, but we'll pick these rather quickly. Carroll County traveling to George Wythe.
George Wythe.
Yeah, I think George Wythe takes care of business in this one. Galax at Radford.
Radford.
Yeah, a few years ago, I would have said Galax,
Dixon's gone.
but I'm going with Radford as well. Seems like they're on a roll right now. Central Wise travels to Letcher County, Kentucky. If they're going to get a win, this is their chance.
Letcher County.
I'm going with Letcher County as well. The fact that they're going into Kentucky, and it just seems like they're going in the wrong direction right now. Apparently, they've got a young squad over there.
They're not going in. It's at Central.
It's at Central. It is. Well, then
You going to change?
I'm going to change mine to Central. I thought they was going to Kentucky. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Central in this one then. Lee at Pineville, Kentucky, and I don't know if that was a misprint or not, but if it's Pikeville, Kentucky, I'm definitely going with Pikeville. Now, the only Pineville I'm aware of,
Pineville.
the only Pineville I'm aware of is the one in West Virginia.
No, there's Pineville. I don't know.
I don't know either. If it's Pikeville, I'm going with Pikeville, and I know you are too.
Yes.
So if it's
But
Pineville,
again, right now, I don't know if I read it right or what, but the Pendergraft kid is hurt. I'm not sure,
okay.
but I think he got hurt in a game. I need to send his dad a message and see if he's hurt. But
I'm going to go with Lee.
If it's Pineville, yes, I'm going to go with Lee.
All right, the next one we've got here is Marion traveling to Gate City. Both of these teams have 2 wins right now. They're going to Gate City, so I'm going to go with the Blue Devils to bounce back from that tough loss and get a win here. Who you got?
Who's playing?
Gate City,
Gate
Marion.
City.
Okay. Next we've got Ridgeview traveling to Virginia High. Ridgeview, I think the woes continue for Virginia High. 37 yards of offense last week. I don't think it's going to get much better this week. Lebanon at Castlewood. Castlewood's got one good thing going for them here. It's a short trip home after the game.
Lebanon.
I agree with you. I think Lebanon's going to pick up the win here. This should be a lot of passing in this game, so we'll find out. Abingdon at Richlands. This is a Saturday game. I probably would have went with Big R up until what happened and transpired this week. I think Abingdon may be riding the ship, so I'm going to go with Abingdon. Abingdon. All right, next we got Tazewell at Fort Chiswell. Tazewell showed a lot of guts in that comeback win against Richlands, even though they hadn't played that well in the first half. I think they take care of Fort Chiswell. Some of the better athletes in the area right now are Tazewell.
I'm going with Tazewell, the Bull Puppies.
All right, this is a big rematch from last year's Region D championship game. PH at Grundy. I've heard that Goodspeed may be a little bit banged up. I'll be honest with you, I just don't think Grundy can handle them right now. PH, the run game is
Who's your source on if Godspeed got hurt?
Goodspeed.
Goodspeed,
I think his name is Pistol. I think it was Pistol.
Where'd you get your info, Pistol?
Seen on video.
Uh-oh. So I'm going with PH in this one. I just think they run amok on Grundy. What do you think?
Two linemen, defense and offensive linemen for PH.
Grundy just lost
too tough. Yeah, they just graduated too many linemen.
Riverview, West Virginia, traveling to the Clift at Hurley. Riverview at Hurley. Both of them have a common opponent in Eastside. Both of them lost to Eastside. I feel like Hurley gave that game to Eastside away there at the end, so I'm going to pick the Rebels in this one. Plus the fact that it's at the Clift, I think Hurley rebounds and goes to 2-2.
Well, I'm going to pick Hurley. They're just going to have to straighten up those ignorant penalties that they're getting.
Yeah.
And if they do that, they'll be okay. But if not, they're going to find themselves in a dogfight again.
All right, Twin Valley travels to Northwood. I'll give you a little bit of assessment I have on that. I know you watch game film. Northwood coming off a tough 22-16 loss last week to Eastmont. Sitting at 0-3. Northwood usually has a really good atmosphere at home when they're playing. Good crowd support and stuff. This is going to be a tough game. I think this is going to be a good game to watch. But of course, being from the Knob, I'm going to pick Twin Valley in this one. And got our work cut out for us, but I think our boys can pull it off.
I agree with you. Just watching. We have to come out and play. We can't come out like we did against Montcalm and turn the ball over and give up touchdowns. But I think we can control the ball and have a good night running the football. We'll come out with that dub.
All right. East Side.
Well, I got breaking news.
All right, breaking news.
Pendergraft from Lehigh chipped the bone in his ankle, and had a bad high ankle sprain. I was told he's been going to therapy, and he's going to try to tape it up and play this weekend.
All right.
You heard it here.
Is it Pineville or Pikeville?
That I do not know.
Confirm that. All right. So you heard that, folks. Pendergraft is going to try to play this weekend. Next, we've got Eastside at Chilhowie. I think this is going to be a good one right here. Chilhowie probably has the edge that they are at home, and you got to take this into consideration. Chilhowie wins this game, they're going to be 3-1 after not winning a game last year.
And then going to be close to getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big.
So this is an early season game that's going to have a lot of ramifications for possibly either one of these teams. I just feel like Eastside might be playing a little bit better right now, and even though they're on the road, I'm going to pick Eastside in this one.
I'm going to ride with Eastside. I'm going to go with hot team right now. They're winning the close ones.
Yep. A few years ago, this would have been a no-brainer. J.I. Burton at Twin Springs.
It's still a no-brainer.
Well, it's still a no-brainer, but not the same way we used to pick it. You're
Twin
right.
Springs.
Twin Springs. It just goes to show you how things are so cyclical, especially in 1A ball. Even in 2A for that matter, but especially in 1A ball. So we both got Twin Springs in that one. Rye Cove at Tom Walker. I think this will be first quarter, half game. This will be a pretty good football game because it's at Tom Walker. They're playing well. But I look at this end up being something like a 38-14 kind of game with Rye Cove coming out on top.
I'm saying taking Rye Cove.
These two teams, got a little bit of a rivalry as well. All right, I think this is going to be a heck of a football game to watch, but I think Honaker will pull away. That's Holston traveling to Honaker. It's another one I think that Holston can hang around and contain that passing game, make it interesting, but Honaker just got too much for them. I'm going with the Tigers. How about you?
I'm going with the Tigers.
All right. This is a big one, boys. This is our game of the week. Union at Graham. And this has been probably one of the premier football games the last 3 or 4 years in Southwest Virginia.
It came down to blocked field goals made, fumbles, 80-yard touchdown runs at the last second.
Yeah, you name it, it's happened. It's at Bluefield. This is going to be a heck of a game to buy a ticket for. If you up in arms and wondering where to go this weekend, Friday night, go to this one because it'll be worth the price of admission, and you're going to have a great atmosphere to watch it in. After looking at Science Hill last week, and the fact that Union is actually passing the ball a little bit more now, in Graham, from at least what I gather from my information, is that Clements may not be playing Friday night.
Is that another pistol?
No, that didn't come from Pistol. I'm going to call the upset here. I'm going to pick Union to beat Graham and stop the 30-plus game winning streak.
Listen, if Union wants in the top 5 and they want recognition, they better win Friday night.
Otherwise,
why put them in there?
all right. At least you're up front and honest about it. So Graham. All right. Well, folks, there you go. Big game of the week here. Union at Graham. This one's going to have everything you want. Graham been slinging that ball around pretty well themselves. This is going to be very interesting. Of course, they've got the advantage there at home, but Union travels well. This is, I think, going to be a really good one. All right, our last one, Coach. Pitt is traveling to West Virginia. Always a very good game. Throw the records out.
That's the backyard brawl.
That's their version of it, yeah.
I'm going with West Virginia at home.
I'm going with them, too. I'm going with WVU. Hopefully they can pull out the win. All right. Let's see. That's all that I have for this week. You have anything else, Coach, real quick?
Nope.
All right. I don't have nothing. He doesn't have anything else, and that'll do it for episode 6.2. Until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
I'm Coach Krieger.
Reminding you that when life gives you melons, you must be dyslexic.
It's football season, and Rainy Richlands is here to crunch the competition. Our unbeatable lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs will leave you feeling like a champion every time you hit the road. Whether you're driving through rugged terrain or cruising down the city streets, Rainy Richlands has the perfect ride to tackle any challenge. Rainy Richlands is the game changer you need to take your driving experience to the next level. It's your deal, your way. Visit one of our dealerships today or shop online at RainyRichlands.com.
Audio Jungle.